Exposing the Shadow, Covert Military Maneuvers Exposed. Welcome to the Sergeant Facts YouTube channel, where history, strategy, and military might converge. Here we unlock the secrets of military strategies that have shaped the course of history. We look at how strategic execution and planning have shaped the world we live in today, from the high-tech battlegrounds of the modern era to the tactical wizards of the past. Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of military tactics, offering insights into the successes and failures that have marked conflict throughout human history. Defining a secret military operation is not as straightforward as it might seem. At the most basic level, these are missions conducted in secrecy, away from the public eye. However, the degree of secrecy can vary based on the operation's nature and its intended objectives. It could involve complete non-disclosure, limited information release, or misinformation to misdirect adversaries. The key is to maintain operational security while achieving the mission objectives. Secrecy is the lifeblood of these operations. The element of surprise, ability to deny involvement, and ensuring the safety of operatives are some benefits that secrecy affords. It allows for stealth and strategic advantage, often leading to success in the mission. Furthermore, secrecy enables plausible deniability, shielding a country's reputation and preventing potential diplomatic backlash. While the veil of secrecy is a necessity, it also presents a challenge for researchers and historians trying to uncover the truth about these operations. Information about such missions is often classified, with only bits and pieces available to the public. The process of revealing secret operations involves piecing together fragments of information, often from multiple sources, and corroborating the facts to paint an accurate picture. One of the most significant secret military operations in recent history is Operation Neptune Spear, which resulted in the death of al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. Conducted by the U.S. Navy SEALs and the CIA, the operation remained classified until after its successful completion. It exemplifies how secrecy, critical planning, and execution can lead to the accomplishment of a crucial mission. As the dust of World War II settled, Operation Paperclip saw the United States recruiting top German scientists in a bid to lead the post-war scientific race. The operation was a controversial move that, while bolstering American scientific advancements, also involved granting immunity to scientists involved in Nazi war crimes. A less-known chapter of post-war strategy was Operation Gladio. Orchestrated by NATO, this operation involved maintaining a covert stay-behind army in Europe during the Cold War. The secret army was intended to resist potential Soviet invasions or influence, revealing the extent of Cold War paranoia. Operation Northwood stands as a testament to the lengths governments were willing to go to achieve their political objectives. This proposed plan involved staging false flag terrorist attacks to create a pretext for military intervention in Cuba. Though never executed, the operation raised questions about the ethical boundaries of military strategy. Similarly controversial was Operation Chaos. This CIA operation involved the surveillance of anti-war activists within the United States during the Vietnam War. An infringement on civil liberties, the operation highlighted the tension between national security interests and individual freedoms during a time of war. Turning to World War II, Operation Mincemeat was a successful deception operation by British intelligence. By planting false documents on a corpse and letting it fall into German hands, the Allies were able to mislead the Axis powers about their invasion plans, changing the course of the war. Operation Neptune Spear is perhaps one of the most infamous secret military operations in recent history. It was this elaborate and strategic mission that led to the demise of Osama bin Laden, the notorious leader of al-Qaeda. The operation was carried out by the U.S. Navy SEALs in May 2011, in Abbottabad, Pakistan, ending a decade-long manhunt for the world's most wanted terrorist. Moving back in history, Operation Paperclip was a secret operation that occurred in the aftermath of World War II. The United States, eager to gain a competitive edge in the Cold War, recruited German scientists, many of whom were former Nazis, to work on American aerospace and military technology. This clandestine operation significantly advanced the U.S.'s position in the space race. In the shadows of the Cold War, Operation Gladio was a covert NATO project. This operation involved the establishment of secret armies across Europe designed to counter potential Soviet invasions. These stay-behind armies were active in many NATO countries and even in some neutral countries. Unfolding during the height of the Cold War, Operation Northwoods was a controversial proposed plan by the U.S. Department of Defense. The proposal included false flag operations, such as staged terrorist attacks on U.S. soil, as a means to justify military intervention in Cuba. The operation was never approved or carried out, but its revelation sparked widespread conspiracy theories and controversy. Operation Chaos was a covert CIA surveillance program launched in the late 1960s. The program aimed at monitoring anti-war activists and dissenters within the U.S., especially those suspected of receiving foreign support. The operation highlighted the tension between national security and civil liberties, a theme that remains relevant today. Operation Ajax, famously known as the CIA's coup in Iran, was a covert operation that overthrew Iran's elected Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. This operation, orchestrated by the CIA and the British Intelligence Service, sought to restore the power of the pro-Western Shah, which marked a pivotal moment in the history of the Middle East. Operation Condor was another covert operation, this time in South America. The operation was a U.S.-backed campaign of political repression and state terror involving intelligence operations and assassination of opponents. It spanned several decades and resulted in tens of thousands of people being imprisoned, tortured, and executed. Operation Epsilon paints a different picture. It involved the detention of German nuclear scientists after WW2. The operation was an attempt to monitor and control the knowledge and expertise that these scientists possessed to prevent any potential threats from emerging. These scientists were kept under close surveillance in a British country house named Farm Hall. Operation Fishbowl, part of the larger Operation Dominic, was a series of high-altitude nuclear tests conducted by the United States in 1962. It aimed to understand better the impacts and effects of nuclear explosions in the upper atmosphere and near space, primarily focusing on potential impacts on communication systems. Lastly, Operation Eagle Claw was a failed United States Armed Forces mission to end the Iran hostage crisis by rescuing 52 embassy staff held captive at the Embassy of the United States, Tehran. The operation resulted in the deaths of 8 American servicemen. This failed mission led to significant changes in the U.S.'s military special operations. Operation Crossroads marked the beginning of the first post-war nuclear tests conducted by the United States at Bikini Atoll in the Pacific. This operation was aimed at investigating the effect of nuclear weapons on naval warships. The tests provided valuable data for later nuclear tests, however. It led to severe radioactive contamination in the region. Operation Argus followed suit, taking nuclear tests to an unprecedented level by conducting them in outer space. This secret operation was aimed at creating artificial radiation belts to disrupt Soviet radar and communications. Despite the ambitious objective, the operation remained largely unknown until it was declassified in the late 20th century. The world of covert operations took a turn with Operation Glomar Explorer. The CIA, in this mission, embarked on a unique salvage operation to recover a sunken Soviet submarine from the Pacific Ocean floor. This operation showcased the extent to which nations would go to retrieve classified enemy information. In a different arena of secret operations, Operation Cherry Blossoms at Night proposed a horrifying strategy. Near the end of World War II, Japan planned to wage biological warfare against the United States by dropping plague-infected fleas over San Diego. The operation, fortunately, was never carried out, yet it remains a chilling reminder of the lengths countries can go to in times of war. The CIA's Operation Midnight Climax, however, took a different route, delving into the realm of mind control. It involved the administration of LSD to unwitting subjects in an attempt to develop techniques for mind control and chemical warfare. While the operation was officially sanctioned, it was later deemed unethical and was heavily criticized when it came to light. Operation Market Garden, the largest airborne operation in history, was an audacious plan conceived by the Allies in World War II. The goal was to seize key bridges in the Netherlands and thus secure a swift end to the war. Despite initial success, the operation ultimately failed due to underestimation of German forces. Operation Chastise, better known as the Dam Busters of WW2, was an ingenious British bombing raid. Using specially designed bouncing bombs, the RAF targeted German dams, causing widespread flooding and significant damage to the enemy's war effort. This operation demonstrated the power of innovative tactics and technology in warfare. Operation Rolling Thunder was a relentless bombing campaign against North Vietnam, conducted by the U.S. in the Vietnam War. Over 3 years, its objective was to destroy the will and ability of North Vietnam to continue the war. However, it resulted in heavy civilian casualties, leading to widespread criticism and protests. The U.S.'s airborne command post was codenamed Operation Looking Glass. During the Cold War, this operation ensured that, in the event of a nuclear attack, a portion of the U.S. military command could remain airborne at all times. This offered a fail-safe mechanism for retaliation, highlighting the high stakes of the nuclear age. Operation Able Archer was a NATO exercise that nearly triggered a nuclear war. In 1983, this military exercise simulated a period of conflict escalation, culminating in a coordinated nuclear attack. The Soviet Union misinterpreted the exercise as a real attack, bringing the world dangerously close to nuclear war. Operation Majestic 12 refers to an alleged secret committee of scientists and military leaders created in 1952 by an executive order from U.S. President Harry S. Truman. The group's purported aim was to recover, investigate, and conceal information about extraterrestrial life and technology following the supposed UFO crash in Roswell, New Mexico. Despite widespread conspiracy theories, no concrete evidence has verified the operation's existence. Operation Zapata, better known as the Bay of Pigs invasion, was an unsuccessful military invasion of Cuba in 1961. Orchestrated by the CIA during the Kennedy administration, the operation aimed to overthrow Fidel Castro's regime. Cuban armed forces, however, successfully repelled the invasion, leading to a significant embarrassment for the United States on the international stage. Operation Ranch Hand involved spraying an estimated 20 million gallons of defoliants and herbicides over rural areas of South Vietnam from 1962 to 1971. Part of the U.S.'s broader strategy in the Vietnam War, the operation aimed to deprive the Viet Cong of food and vegetation cover. The most commonly used defoliant, Agent Orange, led to widespread health problems, including cancer and birth defects. Operation Snow White is one of the most infamous operations in the history of the Church of Scientology. In the 1970s, the Church orchestrated an extensive campaign to purge unfavorable records about Scientology and its founder, L. Ron Hubbard. This operation involved infiltrating, wiretapping, and stealing documents from government offices, resulting in the largest infiltration of the U.S. government in history. Operation Just Cause was the U.S. military invasion of Panama in 1989, with the aim of deposing the country's leader, Manuel Noriega. Seen as a vital operation to safeguard U.S. interests, protect American lives, and restore democracy, the operation faced criticism for its questionable legality and the subsequent chaos and looting which ensued. Operation Yellow Ribbon marked Canada's compassionate response to the 9/11 attacks in the United States. When U.S. airspace was abruptly closed, Canada stepped in to help, accommodating 255 diverted flights and providing shelter and care to stranded passengers. This demonstrated an extraordinary act of international camaraderie and humanity during a time of unprecedented global crisis. Operation Cyclone was a strategic move by the CIA during the Cold War era. The agency secretly funded the Afghan Mujahideen in their resistance against Soviet forces. This operation significantly influenced the geopolitics of the region, escalating tensions and contributing to the prolonged conflict in Afghanistan, the ramifications of which are still felt today. Operation Paul Bunyan was a response to a deadly incident at the Korean Demilitarized Zone, DMZ. The operation was marked by an intense show of force to intimidate North Korea after 2 U.S. soldiers were killed in what became known as the Axe Murder Incident. It was a perilous moment that heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula. Operation Sun Devil was the United States' most extensive crackdown against computer hacking. Initiated in the early 90s, the operation led to numerous arrests and seizures of computers and related equipment. It was a turning point in the fight against cybercrime, marking the dawn of a new era in law enforcement. In conclusion, secret military operations have had a profound impact on world history, shaping geopolitics and influencing the course of major events. From acts of compassion like Operation Yellow Ribbon to strategic moves like Operation Cyclone, these missions demonstrate the complexity and diversity of military actions, They provide valuable lessons about international relations, conflict management, and the enduring pursuit of peace.